If you want your team to be successful, team members need to be able to communicate and collaborate well. In this course, you'll learn about healthy communication and you'll find out ways to overcome communication problems. You'll learn how to foster collaboration and you'll find out how to use communication tools effectively even when you're working on a virtual team.
To get up to speed in time for the rollout, we'll have to drink from the fire hose. But I guess that's just BAU.
Huh?
That could have been another language, right? When you're on a team, you need to communicate well if you're going to avoid mistakes and misunderstandings. As team leader, it's your job to establish healthy communication among your team members. To do that, you need to lead by example by making sure your dealings with your team have the characteristics of healthy communication. First of all, your communications should be direct and honest. Say what you want a team member to do and give all the information they'll need to do it. Team communication should also be clear and understandable. Don't use jargon, slang, or abbreviations unless you know everyone will understand them. Consider Tyler and Mary's conversation.
Mary, I need you to update the business-to-business client files by Tuesday at 2 p.m., please.
Sure thing.
Tyler could have asked Mary to update the B2B files when she had a moment free, but instead he was direct and clear about what he needed and when, and now Mary knows what she has to do. Next, remember that healthy communication is a two-way street. On healthy teams, the team leader and the team members share information and can give each other positive and negative feedback. To make this happen, you need to make sure team members feel comfortable, see that they know you're available to them, and thank them for their input. That's part of the next characteristic too. Team communication should be encouraging. Teammates should show that they value each other's contributions so that everyone feels comfortable participating. As team leader, you can help by encouraging people to speak up, even the ones who are naturally shy. Finally, team communication should be constant. Lines of communication should be kept open so issues can be addressed as they arise, not just at the weekly team meeting.
So we're agreed on the time frame? Lauren, I'd love to hear what you think. Do you think we've given ourselves enough time?
Well, actually, I think maybe we'll need more time to write up the results. I hope you don't mind me saying so. I didn't want to butt in.
No, that's great, Lauren. We need this kind of input. Do you think another day will do the trick, or should it be more?
Maybe let's say 2 days to be safe.
Excellent. Let's do it. Thanks, Lauren. I'll be in my office all afternoon if anyone wants to talk more. Either way, check in with me tomorrow and we'll see how things are going. Let's get to work.
Tyler's setting a good example for his team by modeling the qualities of good team communication, and they'll respond by following his lead. Communication difficulties happen in every team. Sometimes there's friction, and that can cause problems.
So, guys, we're running behind schedule. Any suggestions? Lauren?
Well, I was thinking we might bring in a contractor to help.
Lauren, that's dumb. We'll go over budget and we'll look bad. You're always trying to bring in extra people.
That's a bad situation, right? Over-criticism happens when certain team members are hypercritical of ideas, of other people, or the decision-making process itself. Some criticism can be good because it encourages people to improve new ideas. But over-criticism has the opposite effect. It shuts down ideas before they have a chance.
Wait a minute, Mary. Let's not dismiss Lauren's idea before considering it. And let's not make this personal. Everyone's idea is important, and Lauren has experience with this.
Tyler used a good strategy to deal with overcriticism. He immediately said something to regain control of the meeting. Another strategy is to turn the tables. Tyler could have asked Mary for her idea to fix the problem. To get things back on track, Tyler should point out that the team needs solutions, not criticism. Even if your team becomes a well-oiled machine, that brings its own issues.
So, do we agree that the rollout will start with a presentation at the annual corporate meeting?
Sure, we're all happy with that, right?
Yep, sounds good. And we'll want an internet simulcast, right?
Perfect. The simulcast didn't work so well last time, but I'm sure it was just the subject matter.
Yes, this time we'll definitely have a better response.
Tyler's team has come down with a bad case of groupthink. When a team is in groupthink, they all agree on everything. There's just one answer to every problem instead of multiple options to be explored and evaluated. The team doesn't critically examine anything. The failure of the intranet simulcast last time round is put down to outside influences, and nobody considers that it might just be a bad idea. There are a few things Tyler could do to puncture this groupthink. He could play devil's advocate by poking holes in the prevailing idea, even if he agrees with his team. That might cause them to think a bit more critically. Or he could encourage his team to critique each other's ideas. By breaking up the power structure, he could shake things up a bit. Or he might just give the team some time to think things through. That'll give team members a chance to reclaim their individuality.
Let's be certain about that simulcast. Everyone think more about it, and we'll talk about the pros and cons at Thursday's meeting. Thanks, guys.
By Thursday, with any luck, Tyler's team will be able to find that balance between overcriticism and groupthink, and their healthy communication will help them succeed. It's important that you hear from all your team members, but that can be easier said than done. You'll likely meet a couple of different kinds of personalities as you work on team communication. Interrupters dominate the discussion. They don't want to listen to anyone else. They like hearing themselves talk.
So, let's talk about the meeting with marketing. Lauren?
Well, you've got the most experience dealing with the marketing team, Tyler. And
Yes, but Tyler's on a training off-site that day. I'll do it instead.
Tyler's going to need to deal with this. One way is to set rules of order. Make it clear that only one person is to talk at a time and questions come at the end. He can also interrupt the interrupter and give the floor back to the person who is speaking.
Hold on, Mary. Let Lauren finish her thought. As you'll recall, our ground rules say we don't interrupt people.
Thanks, Tyler. I was just going to say that maybe you could coach Mary in dealing with marketing so that she could handle the meeting.
As it turned out, Mary didn't even know what Lauren was going to say until she made her contribution. As well as interrupters, you may have some non-contributors. They come in different shapes and sizes. Maybe they're new to the team or they lack experience. Or maybe they just don't want to contradict stronger team members. As team leader, you've got to bring your non-contributors into the team discussion. To do this, you need to watch for signs that someone wants to talk. Body language can give you cues to this. When you think someone has something to say, you can cut into discussions and invite the non-contributor to speak.
So, on to the kickoff meeting. I was thinking I could handle that too, since you're busy, Tyler, and we should really do it this week. We'll be inducting the new team member that day, and I'm good with new people.
Lauren, did you have something to add there? You look a little uncomfortable.
Well, I'm sure Mary would do a great job, but maybe we could hold off on that meeting until you're free.
Yes, I think we can wait until next week. Mary, you okay with that?
Sure, no worries. Probably better if you do it anyway.
Looks like I'm finally teaching Mary to listen and Lauren to talk.
That's great, Tyler. When all your team members are participating, you'll get the best out of everyone on your team.
Lauren, want to make this data review more exciting? I'll race you. Loser buys the coffee tomorrow morning.
You're on.
Quit it, you two. You should be working together, not against each other.
Tyler did the right thing, didn't he? You know, team members should collaborate, not compete, right? Actually, it's not as simple as that. Uncontrolled competition is bad for collaboration, certainly. It can create an atmosphere of distrust because people see their teammates as opponents. They put their own individual advantage ahead of the team. But too much collaboration can be bad too. At its extreme, it can lead to groupthink when everyone just agrees all the time and people don't think critically. When getting consensus becomes more important than making good decisions, your team's goals suffer. So your job as team leader is to foster just the right amount of collaboration without allowing groupthink to sneak in. You can foster good collaboration by giving team-oriented assignments. One way is to assign tasks to partners or subgroups instead of to individuals. When team members share ownership and responsibility for results, they'll work together better. And team members who are reluctant to contribute will have to step up to avoid letting their partner down. Another good way of fostering collaboration is to designate mentors. Allow more experienced team members to coach new or less skilled team members. Mentors generally learn to feel responsible for helping their teammates, and less skilled team members benefit from their mentor's experience. Consider a meeting Tyler has with Lauren and Mary.
Well, let's get down to it. Scheduling first. I usually handle that with Mary, but for the next phase, Lauren, I'd like you to work on the schedule with Mary. You've shown a flair for it in the past in your own assignments.
Okay, Tyler, I won't let you down.
Mary, I'd like you to take Lauren under your wing. For the next 8 weeks, you can meet with me regularly and update me on how it's going. And at the end, we'll review both of your performances.
Sure.
By partnering Lauren with Mary, Tyler's ensured that Lauren will work hard on the schedule and feel part of the team. Mary can be competitive, but taking charge of Lauren is likely to help her improve her attitude and her collaboration skills. And Lauren will learn a lot from Mary's experience. By setting the right assignments, Tyler's made it more likely that everyone will work together well, and with everyone collaborating, the team is on track to meet its goals.
Mary, can you help me? I was wondering how to tackle this report that Tyler assigned me.
Not now, Lauren. If I don't finish this, I'll break my streak. Never missed a deadline yet, and I don't want to start now.
Sometimes in a team, people forget that they're working toward a common goal and they focus on their own objectives instead. You need to use communication to steer them back toward collaboration. One good way to do this is through team-oriented messages. Communication that emphasizes a team approach, stressing team goals over individual ones. There are a few kinds of messages you can try. First, remember to link the tasks you assign to the team's goals. Explain the connection between each task and the overall team goals. Second, encourage thinking as a team. Use team meetings to focus on team goals rather than individual milestones. Of course, you should acknowledge individual achievements, but always in the context of the overall team goals. And third, foster sharing and supporting. As team leader, encourage your team members to share information, to be open to each other's ideas, and to share experience through mentoring and coaching. Tyler can try to sort out his team's problems by encouraging Mary to think more of the team as a whole rather than of her own individual goal.
Hey, Mary, report going well?
In a hurry with it. It's not a good time, Tyler, if you want it on deadline.
Listen, put it aside for a second, Mary. I really appreciate how you never miss deadlines, but actually, that report's not crucial to the project for another few weeks. So let's refocus. You've made a great contribution already to keeping us on schedule this phase, so I'm going to ask you to keep that up. Lauren's having trouble with the report, and I'd like you to go through the process with her. She can learn a lot from your experience, and the most important thing is that we work together, right?
Well, I suppose so, Tyler, but what about my report?
We'll reschedule. Take another week. How does that sound?
Sounds good. I'll go find Lauren.
Mary's got a lot to teach if she can just keep her mind on the team. She just needs a bit of encouragement.
And as team leader, you're doing the right thing by encouraging her to think as part of the team. Keep fostering those team-oriented messages, and you'll find your team is more cohesive than ever.
Okay, so where are we on preparations for the marketing meeting?
Everything's good. Lauren spoke to Sandy in marketing yesterday, so she can tell you how that went.
Okay, hang on, I'll give her a quick call.
Hi, Tyler.
Hi, Lauren. So I hear you spoke to Sandy.
Yes, great chat. She said she'd send the meeting agenda to Mary, so you can check with Mary for that.
When you're leading a virtual team, you need to choose the right communication technology for your team. Different situations and different tasks need different tools. When you need answers in real time, you'll want to use synchronous tools, tools that leave no delay between delivery and receipt of the message, like the phone. In other situations, you'll want to use asynchronous tools, such as email. These tools allow team members to send and receive messages when it's convenient. There are a few kinds of technology that can be useful for communication between your team members. Instant messaging, or IM, is a way to chat online in real time. It's handy because you can save logs to keep a record of your conversation, and some people find it less intrusive than a phone call when you need to get an answer quickly. Email is another useful tool that everybody knows about. It's great because it reaches team members quickly. You can attach files and you have a record. But unlike instant messaging, your recipient can take their time in coming up with a response. You might also find discussion boards useful. These include online forums and message boards. Teammates can post messages and ideas and find answers to questions. They're good for tapping into the team's collective knowledge without having to ask everyone individually. Text messaging can be useful if you have a quick query for someone and you know they'll have their cell phone. It's not great if you're concerned about security, though. Other kinds of technology are used for conferencing. This brings teammates together in a synchronous virtual meeting space. You can hash things out as you would in a real conference room, and you can build the personal rapport that can be missing within virtual teams. You might choose teleconferencing tools where you talk with your group on the phone, or you might use video conferencing where you can see your team members on screen. You might even use virtual online meeting software where you can share screens and presentations using your computer. Many software programs have functionality that allows you to choose between all three of these types of conferencing.
So, Lauren, tell us about the chat with Sandy. And then, Mary, you can take us through the agenda.
Right. Well, first there was this thing that we had.
Choosing the right tool for the task gives your virtual team the best chance at getting the job done well. Communication tools today make it easier than ever to do business even when your team isn't all in the same place. But virtual teams bring their own problems. So as team leader, it's important to set communication guidelines to give your team the structure they need.
So what do I do about this email? Mary is furious because she thinks Lauren's been rude. She sent an email asking for a response within 10 minutes. I see why she would be annoyed, but I think it's really just down to Lauren's inexperience.
Yes, that's the first key area for communication guidelines. Establishing standards of communication for email. Everyone thinks they know how to use email, but sometimes the simplicity and casual approach of email causes communication issues. Without the person there to clarify, familiarity can be mistaken for rudeness, and if people try to be funny, it can end in tears. So be clear about how people should write emails, what they should and shouldn't try to do. The second area involves specifying methods for the distribution and control of documents. You may be routing documents through email, or you may be using other software to share files. Whatever you're doing, it's important to set guidelines covering things like version control, backup procedures, and methods of storage. The final area might help Tyler. That's setting up systems for one-to-one conversations. When your team is physically together, most communication happens naturally, as casual conversation. But on a virtual team, team members need to use communication tools. You should think about when it's appropriate for team members to use chat programs and when they should make calls and who they should be contacting. You'll also want to consider acceptable or unacceptable subject matter and procedures for follow-up. When group decisions need to be made or discussion between several team members is needed, you'll likely use conferencing tools, and you'll need to decide whether teleconferencing or video conferencing meets your team's needs best. Tyler, you might encourage Mary and Lauren to use instant messaging for matters that need an urgent response, or if more discussion is needed, Mary could schedule a call with Lauren.
Great. I'll try that.
Sorry about the email, Mary. Now that we have the guidelines laid down, I won't make that mistake again.
No problem, Lauren. What did you need to discuss?
With the right guidelines for communication, you can steer clear of problems and misunderstandings that could hold your team back. Let's review what you learned in this course. To successfully overcome team communication and collaboration problems, first be aware of the characteristics of good team communication. Deal effectively with overcriticism and groupthink. Balance the participation of your team members. Ensure effective collaboration by giving team members the right assignments and sending team-oriented messages. And when leading a virtual team, choose appropriate communication technologies for your task or project.